One of the most important things that I make my chatters do every single day is send a report on their performance. This is arguably one of the most important things that I make them do. Outside of the actual chatting itself, this is probably the most important thing that I make them do. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. There's 4 reasons. Number 1, it forces them to compare themselves to their peers. If all the chatters that I have every day are sending reports in a centralized group, all of their coworkers are going to know how much everybody sold. They're going to know what accounts they sold on. They're going to know how many users the person messaged, and they're going to be able to compare themselves to each other as a result. And that's very important. Why is that important? Because if you have some high performers, if I have, let's say right now, again, I have 4 good chatters who are selling, I know that they're going to sell, I want them to sell $500 a day. They don't always do it, but like at least, their numbers usually don't drop below 300 a day. So like 300 a day is kind of the minimum, and frequently they hit 500 and frequently they hit more than 500. So at least a couple times a week, they're hitting $500 a day. And like, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Like, great job, buddy. I'll never fucking bother you. Obviously I'd like more, but that's good. And I know if I have 4 people in there, that any new people that I add to the group are going to see that. And they're like, oh man, this guy hit 500. This guy hit 700. This guy hit fucking 1500 the other day. And this guy hit 300. Well, I can't sell fucking $75. Like, what kind of a fucking dickhead am I that I sell 75? And no, it's not okay that you're new and you sell 75. Get rid of that attitude. And this is for my chatters, I hired you because I saw potential in you to be good. That doesn't mean that like I hired you and like it's okay if you suck for a month. You're not going to make it a month, bro, if you suck. No, you need to get as good as those guys fast, like ASAP. Why? Because those motherfuckers were good ASAP. My oldest chatter that I have, he was selling $200 a day on his second day. Fucking all the other guys that I have, they all crushed it from day one because they wanted it and they worked hard and they believed that they could. And when you put all of your chatters in the same group and force them to provide daily reports, then they will naturally compare themselves to their peers. Number 2, it forces them to compare themselves to themselves. So the daily reports in the group, that's really just day by day. Another thing that I make them do is I make them maintain a daily sales tracker spreadsheet. So what this is just what it sounds like. It's a spreadsheet that tracks like how, Monday they sold this much, Tuesday they sold this much, blah, blah, blah. And what that is going to enable them to see over, a certain period of time is, okay, I sold this much last week, and then the week after that I sold this much, and then this pay period I got this much, and the other pay period I got that much, and it's just going to present the information to them. So like they can't help but be aware of their performance. And when you measure your own performance, when you measure anything of what you're doing, you will naturally get better at that thing. There's studies on this. So like independent of everything else, if you want to improve at something, all you have to do is just measure it and you will get better. And that's very important. Also, I didn't write this in here, but well, I'll talk about it next actually. It helps with discipline. Okay. One of the reasons why I make my chatters send daily reports is because it improves discipline. Sales is a job that I don't want to say it requires discipline because there's a lot of undisciplined salespeople who are just natural and they're just fucking amazing at sales and their discipline is dog shit. But those are like the naturals. If you're not a natural, you're not a natural. Sorry, you need discipline. And everybody, even the naturals, will improve with discipline. Okay. Just because somebody starts a job and they crush right away without discipline, they come in and they work their magic and they sell for fucking whatever and they beat everybody else and then they go home an hour later. Great, good for him. I guarantee you that person has been like making a living manipulating other people his entire life in some way. But that's not you, probably. You're probably a nice person. You're probably a normal person. And you probably like didn't think ever in your life to manipulate people for personal gain. And now that you have a sales role, right, they can dress it up and say like, oh, it's a win-win situation. But like, let's be pessimistic about it. Like, you are attempting to manipulate other people so they give you money. That's sales. So you have to be disciplined in order to do that if you don't know how to do it. You have to be disciplined in order to get good at something if you're not good at it, if you are new at it. And if you are not good at it, then you need to be disciplined. I guess I already said that. Number 4, it makes it easier for me to see how they're doing. So the main reason, one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that I want my chatter to send daily report in the chat group is because I want to see quickly, easily, how much they sold for that day or the previous day. I don't want to, don't make me check inflow for everybody. Don't make me check the spreadsheet for everybody. Let me see instantly how much you sold for. I will be able to see. And what information do I put on the report? I guess I should tell you this now, or I should ask you to tell me this now, or I should tell you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm out of it today. Anyway, the information that I ask for, really that's the most important, is how much they sold for and how many people they messaged. If they give me a low number and I see they messaged 30 people, oh, we're going to have a chat, amigo. Like, you're going to get a little bit of a talking to. Why did you only message 30 people? You're supposed to work like what I mean, there's 300 people on the account that are subscribed. Why'd you only message 30? There's no right answer. There's no good answer. I'm sorry. There is no good answer. So like, I don't really know what to say. How do you justify that to me? I hired you for a job. Do your fucking job. If you don't do it, you won't have a job anymore. Go message everyone, every single person. If I give you, and this is like, okay, I'll give you an analogy from like real world sales. I worked at many companies that did phone sales. And how do they train new people? They give you a fucking binder of thousands of names and numbers. And they say, here you go. They teach you the pitch. And they're like, here, call these people. That's your job. And they let you alone to fucking do your calls, your dials, and pressing the fucking buttons and doing your pitch and seeing what you can do and getting better. And it's the same. Okay. Except instead of me giving you, whatever, a book of leads, the people are already subscribed. They're already there. All you have to do is message them. It's so easy. If I put you in a fucking room and I gave you a binder of names and numbers and a phone, a telephone, and you had to push buttons, you wouldn't last fucking 5 minutes in there. But it's all on an app, right? It's all, you click a button, type, copy, paste. I mean, don't copy paste, but like, you get what I'm saying. You're in a group of other people who are crushing. What excuse do you have to not sell? Sorry, I get worked up about this. Anyway, the point is that it makes it easier for me to see how the chatters are doing. Like, I can go in and I can see how good they're doing and how many people they messaged. If they had a rough day, if they messaged fucking 300 people and they only sold, $98, okay. Well, I see you, bro. You put the work in. Good for you. Maybe there's a little bit of an issue in the execution of the strategy that we're teaching you, in which case I will need to go in there and take a look and give you some feedback, and you better implement that fucking feedback. Because we're not just sending messages to send messages and check that box so the boss doesn't yell at me. No, the boss will still yell at you if you did it wrong. I mean, well, to be fair, I would much prefer somebody who does it wrong, but does a lot and works hard. Because that person, I can still, you can't teach somebody to work hard. You can't teach desire. You can't teach work ethic. But what we can do is we can teach you tactics and we can teach you strategies to doing a better job. Number 5 is that it will light a fire under the chatters to perform better. If all the chatter, let's say there was no group, right? Let's say there was no group and they didn't have to send daily reports. Or let's say there was a group and there were no daily reports in the group. It would not be brought to their awareness how everybody else was doing, okay? When you have a group of people together and everybody's doing the same thing, natural competition will evolve from that. There will be somebody who looks around and he's like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I'm better than all these motherfuckers. I'm going to make the best clay pot, whatever. And then other people who are slacking, let's say, they're going to look at this guy who made the best clay pot and all the praise he gets from everyone and how much everyone loves his fucking clay pot. And they're like, oh, I could make a better clay pot than that. let me fucking make my clay pot. And they make theirs and they make theirs and they do a little bit better. Then these people over here, they're like, oh, wow, fucking 2 people are making good clay pots now. I guess I can't slack anymore. I guess that's the bare minimum standard that I have to rise to. So then they start doing it. And it's the same thing with salespeople. And it's the same thing with chatters. If one person is doing it, if multiple people are doing it, the other people who are there are going to know that they have no excuse to not do it. So they're going to be like, fuck, I better get my ass in gear. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my fucking job. Because, and I mean, I'm, I started doing this recently, but like if my chatters have a bad day who are new, I'm sending them a message. I'm like, hey bro, what's going on? Why did you only message 30 people yesterday? How did you only sell $60 worth of stuff on that account yesterday? Her tits are this big. What's your excuse? Whatever it is, we'll deal with it, right? But like there's no excuse for not trying. There's no excuse for that. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.